Hi, I'm Pastor Dave with Declaration Church, and I have a question for you. Have you ever met, or do you have friends who are those kinds of people who just like to debate for the purpose of debating, who enjoy a good argument, or who do things just to get a reaction and to really rile people up around them? They're kind of people where they play the devil's advocate just so that they can argue. Do you know anybody like that? Do you know anybody who just likes to stir the pot? Someone who's just a grade A, top-notch pot stirrer. Because honestly, I know a few people like that, and I used to be one and probably still kind of trend that way every once in a while, because it's a lot of fun sometimes to get into an argument with somebody. It's a lot of fun sometimes for me to really kind of stir the pot and try and get a reaction out of people. And I probably shouldn't do this, but there are times where I do it with my kids. There are times where I do it with my friends. There are times where I do it with just random people. And honestly, if there's somebody that just kind of rubs me the wrong way, I might do it with them just because of the fact that they rub me the wrong way. So there are people who are just love to debate, love to argue, and I have always kind of been one of those kinds of people. I'd get into an argument with you just to prove that I could be right on either side of the argument. I could get you to admit that I was right on the side of the argument I actually believed, or the side of the argument where I was actually totally opposed and could see no reason that would be the actual result of the event or whatever it was. I love to do things just to get a reaction sometimes, and I love to do things just to rile people up and get them emotionally just emotionally raised up, emotionally excited, or emotionally engaged. And that's not necessarily always a good thing, right? That can cause a lot of issues between us and other people and can really put strains on relationships. But I came across a verse that got me thinking along those lines, but in a more positive way, in a more positive light, in a better, kind of more positive bent. And it's in Hebrews chapter 10. We don't know who wrote the book of Hebrews. People will argue for all kinds of different biblical people like Paul or Apollos, or all kinds of different ideas as to who wrote the book of Hebrews. But it's not, nobody actually claimed in the book of Hebrews to have written it. And so it's really anonymous, and we're really not sure. So I'll just call the writer of Hebrews the writer of Hebrews. But this individual starts writing, and they get to this place in Hebrews chapter 10. And it says this: and let us consider how to stir up one another to love and good works. Let us consider how to stir up one another to love and good works. And I look at this in the same kind of way, but in the reality, it's not because he's encouraging us to argue or those kinds of things, but instead to be an encourager. Be someone who's really going to step behind somebody, get them excited about doing what God has called them to do, get them excited to love others, really get them engaged in the process of loving someone else and loving them well. Get them engaged in the process of doing good works, which is a practical, real way of showing the love of God to the people around us. That's what the writer of Hebrews is telling us to do. Let's stir people up. Let's get them engaged. Let's get them excited. Let's really rile these people up to go out and do the right thing. It's like a good football coach in one of those sports movies. Maybe you've seen those, maybe you haven't. But they give that speech at halftime, or they give that speech before the game, and it's the big game, it's the championship game, all the marbles, all the chips are in the middle of the table, and everybody's getting ready to go, and there's some doubt, and there's some confusion, there's nervousness, and the coach comes in and he delivers this speech, and everybody gets excited, and everybody gets ready to go, and everybody's engaged. Everybody is ready to engage in the process, and that's the way you and I should be interacting with each other. Only to rile us up, to stir up one another, to love and good works. Not neglecting to meet together. That means this really should be done face to face. Getting together face to face with other people to get them engaged. That's the best way to do it. Videos like this are helpful sometimes. Audio podcasts, those can be helpful sometimes. A phone call can be helpful sometimes. But honestly, engaging with people face to face is the best way to build a relationship. verses 24 and 25. I'm going to read them one more time, just in full without stopping. Because this is what God has called you and I to be and to do today. And I want to encourage you to do it. I want to stir you up to love and good works, just like this verse tells us to do. It says, and let us consider how to stir up one another. Think about it. Plan about it. Plan, consider how. Put a plan of action in place. Let us consider how to stir up one another to love and good works, not neglecting to meet together, as is the habit of some, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day drawing near. The day, meaning the day Jesus returns, the day of the Lord, when the church is taken out of this world. We don't know what that day looks like. We don't know when that day is, but it's coming. It could be today. It could be tomorrow. It could be 1,000 years in the future. We don't know, but we need to be ready at all times. And as the day is drawing ever closer, because no matter how many days there are between that day and today, every single day that passes gets us closer. And so you and I should be meeting together, spending time together, encouraging one another, stirring up one another to love and good works, so that we are constantly loving others well and doing the good works that God has put before us, so that his light, the light he's placed within each of us, shines forth with incredible brightness, so that the world around us can see his light, can see things as they really are, can see the love that he has for them, can feel the warmth of that tremendous light, and come to know who he is and how much he loves them, surrendering their lives to him just as you and I have, so that the kingdom of God can move forward and expand. That is our place. Jesus will build his church, but he will do it as we love each other and love others and do the good works that he's put before us. I hope this is an encouragement to you. I hope it's a challenge to you to go out and do some good works today, to love others well, and to really live out the ministry that Jesus has given to you. Thank you so much for letting me be a part of your walk with Jesus today. I'm so glad we get to do this together. And I hope you'll hit the subscribe button and the like button and click the little bell so you're notified every single time that we post new content, so that you and I can continue to grow together as disciples of Jesus as we move forward through this life. As always, I'm Pastor David, and I'm out.